There's a lot of reasons why I don't like going to bars. It all started. I never really even liked going to bars. Even when I was younger, I never really felt comfortable there. There's just too much going on. It's loud. I've only had fun at a bar like at a handful of times. Honestly, it's just not been the most pleasant experience for me. But back 10 years ago on my 30th birthday, I got a DUI. And that really changed my perspective on life and everything. You know, I was being irresponsible back then. And it made me wake up. I don't really like drinking nowadays. I don't like to be out of control. I like to be able to, if something happens, I can drive somewhere. I can handle a situation in a sober manner. I mean, it's not like if people like to drink, that's on them. I'm not gonna sit here. Oh, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But for me, it's just the type of people that go to the bars. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than people or anything like that. I don't really relate to these people that much. I don't really like small talk really. And it just seems like when you go to a bar and the later you stay, there's more chance of things can get out of control. There's high egos, and if you're going to a bar or a nightclub to meet a girl, I mean, what you have to understand is she's probably not a very high value person. She probably doesn't have much of a, I don't know. I mean, people go to bars and they're regular people, but it's not the ideal place to meet somebody. If I go to a bar, I prefer to go to a quiet one where there's not a lot of people. I just don't like all these people around me, and granted, I've been to concerts before and I've been in mosh pits, so it's not like a lot of people, football games, stuff like that. So being around a lot of people doesn't really faze me. But in that situation where you got people drinking and you might look at and you might make eye contact with somebody and they take things the wrong way, and they want to start stuff. And people go to the bars just to start stuff. They want drama. And it's just, for me, it's just not my cup of tea. I will go to a bar, but it's just not something I want to be at all night, and it's highly expensive. It just doesn't make much sense to me where I'm paying all this money for a drink, and then I gotta pay somebody a tip just to hand me a drink. Like I said, that's cool if people like to do that, but for me, I just don't enjoy the experience. Maybe 10 years from now when I'm in my 50s, then we got self-driving cars, and maybe I'm better off in a better financial place. But at this point in my life, and I have more freedom, I just prefer to stay out of that. I don't even drink. I don't even like to drink. I used to like to, drink and get, wasted and all that stuff, but it's just, I like to be in control of myself, I mean, having a couple drinks is okay, but for me, I got teenagers, man, and I don't want that around my kids. When they get to be older, if they I'd already told them this, if they end up, drinking and stuff like that, which they, if they do it in excess, right, or get into drugs and all that, it's not because of my example. So I don't have that stuff in my house, because I just don't want that example for them, and it might be pointless, and they might end up, drinking a lot when they get to be older, and that'll be their choice if they end up getting into that. And I already told them if they get into something, they're gonna have to get themselves out of it. But for me, it's just not my cup of tea, honestly. I'd rather go for a hike. I'd rather go for if I like a coffee date, or I like quiet. You know, I don't like loud. I don't like going somewhere and I'm like yelling to for somebody to hear me, or constantly saying what, and having them yell in my ear to be able to hear them. That's just not a fun experience for me. Now, some people that's a cool experience, but for me, that's not. It's just not an enjoyable experience for me. And like I said, there's so many different factors of why your fun time can turn out to be destroy your life. You know, like I said, people, especially nowadays, you know, when everything starts opening up, and like this summer, I said, like, I think that's gonna boom economic wise. People are having the stimulus, they're gonna have all this, they're gonna want to go out after all this lockdowns and all that. They're gonna want to spend money, and these bars are gonna make a lot of money. It's gonna be crazy, and then what I think is, you know, it's gonna blow up and then go right back down, because of what's more important, eating and having electricity, or going to the bar, you know. So after this summer, so yeah, that's why I don't really dig going to the bar. Like I said, meeting girls there, and it's just, you know, it's hard to approach women, and they're in their little packs, and you gotta be in that environment. You gotta be like, you gotta stand out. Seriously, you gotta be tall, ripped, be good charisma, and for you to, I mean, it doesn't always have to be, right? It just depends on your game, but I just don't feel comfortable in that setting. I really don't. I have to go up and start yelling, "Hey, what's up?" What, you know? I just don't dig that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm an old man, mature wise, mentally wise. I just don't dig it.